Hey everyone, thanks for your efforts and work so far with your intro tag and your intro monologue. So now it's time to start putting this thing together for real. Looking at the content and the topic sections, you have a lot of opportunity to tell the story and answer that question that you created for this podcast. It's going to be really important that you reference back and forth between your research and looking at those highlighted content pieces that you want to make sure that you really convey in your podcast. I just want to give you a few tips for as you're producing the content, because the content can be a little bit tricky in terms of figuring out how all the research is going to meld together. When I was thinking about my content, I kept thinking about not only my main question, but segues. How is each part of what I'm saying flowing into the next? And so when I left off here with my intro monologue, I was really talking about the impact that Bent's Fort had on the expansion movement. So I wanted to segue, but also I kept feeling like, hey, I really need to provide some background history here. And so you'll see this first content section is really designed to help my audience understand the history of how Bent's Fort came to be. I don't think I can answer the question of its impact without understanding the background of why it was created in the first place. So you'll see here in this highlighted section, these are all my own words. You noticed, remember last time we talked, I had highlighted pieces from paraphrased elements or quotes. I didn't have any of that in this particular section, primarily because I knew the history and I really wanted to put that into my own words, my own thinking. And in this section here, I'm really just talking about how the fort started, how it got going, who the key players are, and how those players influenced the creation of the fort and why it was established along the Santa Fe Trail. Now, here's where I'm struggling. I don't know what kind of music I want to segue or background noise I want to segue between these two sections. So right now you'll notice it's blank. As I'm reading it out loud and saying it, I can't hear what that background audio will be. I know it's going to come, but you'll notice right now that I have a blank because I just don't know. I can't hear it in my head. And that's okay, you guys. So if you don't have a thought about what you want in a certain audio section, it's okay. I'm sure as you play with Soundtrap, we'll figure that out. Now you'll notice I shifted and started working on my second topic, and this is where I felt like I could start moving and segueing from the history that I just told and start pulling it back towards the impact. You'll also notice here that I have this blue highlight. Again, this is a direct quote from my research that I pulled out that I felt actually really said what I wanted to say in a much better way. So I just left it as a direct quote. And again, I used my transitional phrasing here to make sure my audience knew where I got my sourcing from. So today it's really about getting the content out, making sure that the story you want to tell is starting to take shape. We have this whole block today to work on as many content elements and pieces as we can get done. So it is your day to write, it is your day to build content and see what is created in your script. Have fun.